On the Newshour Debate tonight, let's start by making one thing very clear. Retaliation by Indian forces, if it has happened, is completely legitimate. Beheading is not. And on the Newshour Debate tonight, Tariq Azeem is former Information Minister of Pakistan, who will be joining us from Lahore. From our satellite link in Islamabad, General Rashid Qureshi, former spokesperson to Musharraf. And Najam Rafiq is director of the Americas Institute of Strategic Studies. He's also joining us in Islamabad. In our studios in Delhi, Colonel V.N. Thapar, father of Captain Vijay Thapar, is with us tonight. Also with us is Lieutenant General Nirbhay Sharma, former co-commander in Kashmir. Maruf Raza, strategic affairs expert, is also joined by Dr. Chandan Mitra of the BJP, which has criticized the government today for not being tough enough. My first question today on this edition of the Newshour is to Brigadier Javed Hussain, former Pakistan Army Special Forces officer. Brigadier Hussain, I remember that on an appearance on the Newshour recently, you conceded that the Pakistani army works in conjunction with what you call irregulars. You also admitted when you came on the Newshour that it is not possible for these irregulars, jihadis or whatever you call them, to operate without having the permission of the Pakistani army. So my direct question to you right on top of Newshour tonight is, given what you said on this program, would you concede that it is time the Pakistani army and the Pakistani government owns up for the beheading instead of trying to dodge it? Brigadier Hussain.
Sound gayab ho gaya.
Can you hear me, sir?
You asking me?
Yes, that question is to you, sir.
I'm very sorry. Could you repeat the question, Arnab?
Okay, I'll put it briefly. Brigadier Hussain, you admitted on a previous appearance of the Newshour that without the support of the Pakistani army, these irregulars or jihadis or Lashkar elements or whatever cannot operate. You said that in the context of Saurabh Kalia's killing. Now, would you admit, having said what you yourself have, that the Pakistani army is responsible for the beheading of our men?
No, I'm having audio problems, but what little I've understood of your question, you see, the thing is that there are two parties to this dispute. The Indian army and the Pakistan army, they have different versions. So what does one do when there is a dispute? What the Pakistanis are saying, you are not accepting that. What you are saying, the Pakistanis are not accepting that. So bring in a third party of your choice. Let them decide.
So what?
And I believe I believe you people have rejected, your government has rejected intercession by the United Nations. But we have what is known as, I think we've had them since 1949, this military observer group. Let them find out. What I'm trying to suggest is that, as I said in your last program,
Sir, you are not answering my question. No, I'll come to that. I know that Pakistan is looking for a third-party intervention. Why are you not answering my question? You know, admit, sir. Brigadier Hussain, you admitted that your regulars work with your irregulars, that your army works with the jihadis. No, you said that the irregulars did carry out the mutilation of Captain Saurabh Kalia's body. They burnt his body.
No, I didn't say that. Irregulars may have done it.
Sir, I have you on quote. No, sir, I have you on quote. You have said most of this frontage was held by regular army units.
No.
But there was frontage that was left for the irregulars.
For the irregulars.
So who are the irregulars?
This patrol of...
No, who carried out this beheading?
The so-called jihadis.
Yeah, so who do these so-called jihadis operate under?
They were operating under the Pakistan army.
Yes, so that's the point. They were operating under the Pakistan army. So that's why I'm saying let the Pakistan army own up. Which it hasn't in the Saurabh Kalia case.
You asked me a question. So let me dilate on that. I can't hear you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
problem.
listening. General Qureshi, I know you want to come in, but let after Brigadier, please. Yeah.
As I said last time, that both Indian and Pakistan armies are disciplined armies. They are volunteer armies. They have a code of honor. They have their military values. Both armies.
Sir, no.
And it would be absolutely incorrect to suggest that the beheadings in this particular case in Mendar area were done by the Pakistan army.
Sir, but you know, I
Your
don't understand.
channels have been saying, hold on.
Sir, so beheadings are outsourced to the jihadis. One second, let's get a contrary. No, 1 minute. Sir. I am going by what you said. I want to get Maruf in on this. No, but I want to settle this once and for all.
Let me finish.
Who carried out the beheading?
Let me finish. You see, you...
Okay, complete.
You don't let the guest speak.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to suggest is that your channel and many other channels, Indian channels, have been suggesting that the attackers, they were wearing black clothes, black shalwar, black kameez. And then you've said that area is held by 29 Baloch. Now 29 Baloch, when it goes into battle, it doesn't go in shalwar kameez.
Sir, that is
it goes in proper military uniform.
Sir, please.
So,
Sir, please don't tell me that army doesn't know camouflage.
Hold on.
Sir, you are a special forces officer.
Hold on.
I want few Indian responses to your initial comments. Chandan Mitra wants to say something first. Brigadier, I assure you, I will give every Pakistani guest an equal opportunity. But just hear one other view from Chandan Mitra.
Arnab, allow me a slight digression. You are missing the point. Allow me a slight digression.
Permitted, please go on.
Ruk jati.
Go on. No. I am listening to you.
You are.
Yes, I am.
Now, the question to ask is, I believe the area where this encounter took place in Mendar area, it is supposed to be in the mountains, supposed to be forested, and visibility on the day of the occurrence was very low.
Sir,
So the question is, hold on a minute. The question is, you should ask Rajputana Rifles commanding officer and the patrol's company commander, why was the patrol sent in this area when the patrol was
my
blind?
question is the beheading.
You
admit today. No, sir, 1 minute. Sir, I asked you, Brigadier Javed Hussain on the News Hour, in the context of Saurabh Kalia, you admitted that your irregulars may have carried it out. You said that there was a large part of Pakistani area where the irregulars were allowed to operate under the operation of the Pakistani army. You cannot take that statement back tonight. Responses to what you're saying. First from Maruf Raza on a military point of view, then from Chandan Mitra.
That was in 1999.
Sir, Maruf Raza is...
That was in 1999.
Brigadier sir.
Maruf.
Go ahead.
Brigadier sir, let me give you a few inputs from an Indian point of view. The first is, you said if there was bad visibility, there is mountainous area. The mountains are more in your direction of the LOC than the Indian side. But even if there was bad visibility, I've been a soldier, so have you. Would you deny that bad visibility would stop a unit commander or a sub-unit commander from setting a patrol out? Patrols are meant to operate visibility or no visibility. And the worse the weather conditions, so be it. But the fact of the matter is, sir, please let me complete. The fact of the matter is that when soldiers operate within their own territory, they don't expect intrusions and sabotage as it happened in this case. You say that the Pakistan army will not operate with black clothes or whatever other camouflage. But let me remind you, historically, in 1947, your army was involved with a whole lot of irregulars, led by Major General Akbar Khan, who later wrote his memoirs to say that he was carrying a battlefield name as General Tariq. You go and read the book. Raiders in Kashmir, 1956, Karachi Publishers.
I've read that
Very
book.
clearly your army was operating with irregulars. The second point I want to make, even in Operation Gibraltar 1965, your army operated with irregulars. The third point I want to make, that you do tend to use camouflage. In Mumbai attacks 26/11, all the terrorists that you sent in were wearing Hindu armbands to show that they were local Indian tourists pretending to be terrorists. Now let me tell you one or two other facts. The fact of the matter is that your army has been so thickly involved with jihadis, and by your own admission,
That's the point
jihadis
tonight.
that operate on the
That's
LOC.
the point tonight.
Sir, the LOC, the jihadis who operate with the LOC area operate very closely with army units, otherwise they can't operate on their own. They get covering fire, they get support, they get bases, they get training, they get weapons, they get equipment. And these jihadis may do the dirty work for your army, but your army cannot wash off responsibility for an unsoldierly act, whether doing it directly or indirectly or indirectly.
Sir, and 1 minute. Therefore, we are critically on a point tonight, Maruf.
Therefore, sir, the intrusions have taken place with the connivance of your army. And if I may bring out another fact, which you all know, General Kiani was attending a Corps Commanders Conference in Sialkot on the day the operation took place. So therefore, the approval probably came from the highest level and not just from a unit commander. The sad part of it is your army has lost a lot of the soldierly code that armies live by, unfortunately, in your marriage with the jihadis.
And I now want to bring in, you see, the first point there is, before I come to you, Chandan Mitra, I'm giving the floor to General Qureshi. General, it is time to admit today, your regulars and these so-called jihadis work hand in hand. They work hand in hand.
Your problem is...
You don't. Okay, what's it, General Qureshi?
Your problem is...
Yeah.
Your problem is that you come to a conclusion before you've even heard an argument. So you make a statement and then you go out to prove it by hook or by crook. Let me answer your question. First of all, Captain Sorav Kalia, your officer yesterday, one Lieutenant General, admitted that yes, the damage to the bodies that were recovered after 1.5 months of a firefight that had taken place in which they got killed could have been mauled by animals and
Sir, that is so completely wrong.
Right. Now hold on.
You must listen to me. I am not coming with any preconceived notion. No, I'll tell you why you're factually wrong.
Listen, then it's pointless having an
but
argument.
I will present one sentence.
You listen to what I have to say.
One sentence.
You listen to what I have to say. No, you listen to what I have to say.
Okay, then I'll have two sentences after you finish.
Question.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Go ahead.
So first of all, your officer has finally admitted that what happened 14 years ago and was raised by your army again about a month and a half, 2 months back, was absolutely wrong. I will quote the officer's name also.
Quote the officer's name now. Which
Director
officer?
General Military Operations. Hold on.
Which Director General Military
Operations of the Indian Army? During Kargil was the person who spoke to the Director General of the Pakistan Army, and they resolved this issue 14 years ago.
Sir, you are putting you're putting out fiction. You're not even sure of the names.
No. Two things.
No, who are you quoting? Who are you quoting?
Let me just bring a common sense.
Of the Northern Command.
General Qureshi, sir, there is one common sensical point.
No, I will not listen till I've finished. The spokesman of your Northern Command admitted yesterday that there was no beheading. Now, I am not saying whether your spokesman is telling the truth or you are telling the truth.
Sir, I am asking you, name the person.
We hear
from
your side, from the Indian side, a version. And you refuse to listen to what the Pakistanis are saying. So if you are going to have a one-sided argument and not allow the others to speak,
there's only one side.
It is pointless coming on your show.
One side.
Because if the aim is to whip up frenzy in India and cause the people to
Really?
Shy away from the peaceful process that Pakistan has started, and each time Pakistan
okay, now
tells
let me,
that we want peace with India.
I'll tell you one thing.
Now, if that is the aim, fine. I guess then we need to keep quiet, and you can do what you think is right, and Pakistan will do what Pakistan thinks is right.
Okay, now I have just one fact and one question to make to you, and then I'll move on to the next case. And believe me, trust me, General Qureshi, there is only one side, and that one side is the truth. And I'll tell you what the truth is, because you have been unable to name the officer who you are quoting. So I've given you 3 opportunities, you've not named him. But I will tell you the truth.
No. Don't interrupt in the middle.
Can you name?
There's a program that was done yesterday. I will tell you the channel, Aaj Tak, where this whole discussion took place.
So I don't know what you are
Lieutenant General, an ex-corps commander, said yes, there is a possibility.
Sir, I'll now tell you.
For 1.5 months,
sir, you know,
bodies are left.
Sir, you know one thing. Sir, I will not allow. So one second. Sir, we must not disrespect an Indian martyr.
Look,
who's 1 minute, sir? Please listen to, sir. You must.
Nobody is disrespecting.
Sir, you must listen to me.
Let me tell you something. No,
sir, let me tell you.
I have served 36 years in the Pakistan Army.
General Qureshi, now you listen to me, sir.
Does not mutilate bodies.
Sir, I know.
Right?
Really.
And
so you ask.
Use your senses.
Sir, you ask.
If they have mutilated bodies, would they hand them back to you?
Sir, now
it is so stupid.
Sir, 1 minute.
So how can you believe this?
Sir, people in the Pakistani army are capable of grave mistakes. The point is, the post-mortem report on Saurabh Kalia confirmed that the injuries were inflicted ante-mortem, which means they were before death, 1. And since you are accusing us of being hysterical, may I ask you for your definition of the Pakistani reaction each time there was a NATO attack, including the attack that happened on November 2011, in which several Pakistani soldiers died, when your government said an apology from the United States will not do, when your government said we want to reassess our relationship with Washington, when your government said all of that, please tell me, was that also hysterical?
No.
Was that no? So it's not hysterical.
Not representing the government here.
Oh, One minute. When Pakistani soldiers are killed in what is accidental firing, accidental drone attacks, Pakistani response is not hysterical. But when Indian soldiers are butchered on the Pakistani side and beheaded, then if we ask questions, it's hysterical. So there's a slight anomaly there. Chandan Mitra is coming up next to your response. Chandan Mitra, your response to General Qureshi describing the whole reaction as hysterical.
Can I just intervene here?
I'm coming to you, sir, after Chandan Mitra.
Arnab, I don't understand why you are allowing this general this one-sided, tirade against all the grain of truth that is going on. He's making all kind of absurd allegations. He's dragging in Saurabh Kalia, our great martyr in Kargil. He is denying everything that has happened and is saying that, you see, Pakistan are doodh ka dhula hua, as they say. They are absolutely gentle people. They don't kill, they don't maim, they don't do anything. And the Indians are the aggressors. As if we beheaded the body of our own soldiers and just to show them up in the international community. Now, I think, you see, whether they were beheaded, mutilated, whatever, is irrelevant. They have committed a heinous crime, and this is part of Pakistan's strategy to try and prove to the world that Indian troops are barbarians. Whereas the fact is, the world knows what kind of barbarism the Pakistan government and those on the payroll, like Hafiz Saeed, who was present in POK. I mean, I really would like to ask that who commands the Pakistan army and the Pakistani regulars? Hafiz Saeed or General Kayani? On whose orders do they work? Hafiz Saeed gave certain instructions. We have read in the media what kind of speeches he made while he was in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir a few days ago, and incited the troops and the so-called irregulars, who are troops in a different uniform, to kind of go and act. So what are they talking about? And I don't understand the purpose of this, the exchange, because they are masters of deceit and untruth. They are weaving a web of untruth for the last 3 days,
No, but
and
we are allowed.
We
No,
have
one
to
second.
respond
Chandan Mitra.
and respond firmly, and that is all that matters.
Truly, Tariq Azim, you want to come in? 1 second. But before that, Najam Rafiq wanted to come in. Najam, let me remind you of what Hina Rabbani said after NATO troops killed some Pakistani soldiers. She said, enough is enough. Our government will not tolerate any incident of spilling even a single drop of our soldiers' blood. We cannot compromise on our sovereignty. Yes. What makes you feel?
Look, you can't compare.
What makes you feel in this case you will be allowed to get away with it?
They are totally separate and out of context. You are talking. We are having a little mini war here in the studios. We have more firing going on here than at the LOC.
So you'd be surprised at how much firing there has been on the Pakistani side on the LOC yesterday. Please answer my question.
We cannot and have not even been able to determine the facts, what they are, what really actually happened.
So you are talking like the NATO spokesperson spoke. No, you are talking like the NATO spokesperson spoke when Hina Rabbani got angry.
The soldiers have been firing. You know, the soldiers have been firing at each other on the LOC just to get the bloody fruit of the trees. You know, they are soldiers, and they would do that. They greet every day each other. They greet each other with abuses. All right,
sir, I think
salams, and they abuse each other. But those are they cannot. They help but be soldiers. And of course, if
what are you justifying? No, what are you trying to say? 1 minute. 1 minute. I don't understand, Najam Rafiq.
What I fail to understand is why at this point in time everybody is concerned about this incident, which has been a regular feature for the last 40 years.
Sir, I must say, Najam Rafiq, let me tell you this. No, Najam Rafiq, this kind of barbarism may be a regular feature in Pakistani life. In civilized society, it is not. It is not. So don't run it down.
Like said,
don't play it down.
Soldiers, don't know what the limits are. No, they will
Najam
not
Rafiq, don't play it down. You are not answering my question.
They are honorable soldiers.
I am asking you again. Why are you dodging my question?
Look, we are not dodging your
I'm asking you a question a second time today.
That we cannot
I will ask you. Take my question a second.
Sure
Najam
what
Rafiq
actually transpired and what actually happened.
Najam Rafiq, tell me, we are responding like we should, like your foreign minister had when your soldiers were butchered by NATO forces. Then you went crying. You whined. You said you will call off the diplomatic relations. You said it was an attack on your sovereignty. You can say today, I'm telling you, if you
are going to be comparing with this with that NATO thing,
why?
I mean, how are we going to approach our relationship? We don't even have a relationship. We are trying to build one. We have wars on the LOC. We have wars on the cricket ground. We have wars on television, in the studios. When are we going to find the direction to talk in a realistic
Najam Rafiq, I've given you two opportunities. I've given you.
It is time.
I also want to share right now the information. The information we have is that the military intelligence intercepted a call between Pakistani army units congratulating each other after this incident happened on January 8th. I'd now like to get in Tariq Azim, former information minister.
Why don't you play this on the television and let us all hear this?
Tariq Azim.
Arnab, I think we are not getting anywhere if we are going to debate like this.
We are not.
1 minute, Najam Rafiq. 1 minute. Listen.
Suggestion made. Please, can you control your people in the studio, please?
So
can you please control them?
Najam Rafiq.
I mean, can I say something?
Najam Rafiq is not in my studio. He's in Islamabad. But Najam Rafiq, a request comes for you from Lahore to please allow Tariq Azim to speak. Go ahead, Tariq Azim.
Arnab, let's go back and see what has happened. There was an aggression initiated by the Indian Army. That's a fact.
Completely wrong.
On the night of the 5th and the 6th at 1 a.m. in the morning, it was an unprovoked attack, physical attack on a Pakistani checkpost in Haji Pir area.
Sir, you are wrong.
One Naik Aslam died.
Sir, you are wrong.
Fact. Okay?
Which night?
It was an unprovoked attack. You will say I'm wrong. When Indians fire is accidental. When Pakistanis fire, these are barbarians.
So no, let's debate on fact. No, let's debate on fact.
This is not fair.
No, let's debate.
Today you martyred another Pakistani. Today Mahiuddin was martyred in Pakistan today.
Let's settle this.
This is not fair. If you want to get to the bottom of this, we have seriously. No, listen to me now, please. When we have said that let's get a third party, an independent party,
what
United Nations, observers are on both sides of the border.
So
let's involve them. Let's see what is going to be done.
1 minute. You see, Tariq Azim, let me tell you one thing. No, 1 second. You know that the United Nations has turned you down. It's rejected you. The United States has rejected you. Nobody trusts you. Nobody believes you. Pakistan's act of crying wolf is known, internationally exposed and rejected every time.
India,
and why are you and on the incident of Haji Pir,
India, right?
And on the incident of Haji Pir,
India. So why doesn't India ask the United Nations to investigate the incident?
1 second. On the incident on Haji Pir, let me tell you, it was not an isolated act. You know, Pakistan has been responding to firing in this region repeatedly, and it is completely within our right to respond. On October 16, 2012, you can check your facts and call your friends in the Pakistani army. 3 civilians, including a 15-year-old boy and a 20-year-old girl, were killed in Charunda in completely unprovoked firing by the Pakistani troops. Check your facts. A 9th grade student was killed.
Well,
you must.
And then there are facts.
Fact. 1 minute. I am presenting.
There is a firing across the line of control is accidental always time on Indian side. When Pakistanis fire, then of course is unprovoked.
That's complete.
This is totally rubbish.
So no, I have just contradicted you.
You fire to provide cover to these jihadis to cross over. You fire deliberately.
Have you registered these?
At all. We retaliate.
Have you registered these violations with the Military Observer Group?
I'd like to now. 1 second.
The Military Observer Group.
Maruf wants to come in, and then I'm going to general welfare.
Why should we?
Yes, Maruf.
It is in black and white. It is in black and white. Why should we oppose third party?
Maruf to Tariq Azim.
Okay, sir, with respect, sir, I mean, you are trying to bring calm into the situation, but if you were on the Indian side, you would not feel so calm about it. But let me also put a few facts in front of you, sir. Isn't it true that this is a strategic ploy on the part of the Pakistan army to again raise the issue to the international level and get the UN or some third party to move in the bilateral relationship, which India has made it known, and it has been agreed, and it has also been approved by the United States that nobody else should intervene. These are bilateral issues between the two, post the Shimla Accord, and let it be there. The second point is, isn't it true that there is now, unfortunately, a great disconnect between the military commanders and people at senior level and the posts and the men on the ground? I have it on record, sir, in conversations I've had with Pakistani officers abroad, that they envy the kind of camaraderie and bonding that Indian troops and Indian officers enjoy vis-a-vis the kind of situation that exists. So there could be, let's be realistic, sir, there could be a possibility that the Pakistani post commander or whoever there has not been able to control anymore the vast influence and clout the jihadis now enjoy.
Which is the story all across
from Rawalpindi to go ahead and do what they want. And this is clearly a symptom of a larger problem. You must address that. And most importantly, you are saying that Indians escalated the situation, sir. There is evidence now available on both sides that the firing of artillery started from the area near Haji Pir once the Indian unit decided to mend the fences which were tampered with, the border fencing, and that firing led to a response by an Indian infantry battalion, wherein your unit, Baluch unit, took advantage of your advantageous position further down on the LOC and did what they did against people who were carrying out regular routine military duty of patrolling, which both armies are expected to do on a relatively active border. Now, can you deny any of these points, sir?
I can only say that Indians are very good story writers. No wonder Bollywood is doing so well.
Sir, I think you are denigrating what happened, and I think you are not being serious in your response. A very serious question has been put to you, Tariq Azim. I want to get in General Nirbhay Sharma at this stage, former co-commander.
I mean, everything that you do, is excellent. You are just above board. No firing. Every time a firing takes place, it is accidental. And everything that is being done is done from the Pakistani side.
There are only two options.
That is diversity of what goes on. This is not true.
Sir, there are only
it is not true.
Tariq Azim, you have said, and 1 minute, the brigadier right at the start of the program tried to bring in a third party. And it is a well-known fact right now, I can prove to you again and again, General Qureshi, it is a well-known fact, even when you were military advisor to Musharraf. You know what you did in Kargil. You know what you did in Kargil.
And you are the one presenting all the arguments.
And we also know what you did in East Pakistan.
I would like
we know what you did in East Pakistan. Anab, on your show, live show in New Delhi, I showed you international media which claimed how Indian army penetrated into East Pakistan dressed as Mukti Bahini. I showed you on the live television in New Delhi. You remember that?
Tariq Azim, admit here today what the brigadier in Karachi has admitted a long time back, that the irregulars which have been under the control of the Pakistani army are either not or are working under the instruction of the Pakistani army.
Do you remember me showing you original paper, the Times of London, saying Indian army dressed as Mukti Bahini entering East Pakistan to fight Pakistani army.
General Nirbhay Singh.
I did that in New Delhi. I brought the newspaper with me.
Now I think we need to
General Nirbhay Singh is coming in. 1 second,
the main issue.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like we are not on a television show, but in a courtroom, being questioned.
Najam Rafiq, it is probably time for Pakistan to be taken to an international courtroom, but please answer the questions here today. General Nirbhay Singh, go ahead.
You should do that.
Yeah. General Nirbhay Singh, go ahead, please.
Arnav, I think we need to get back to the main issue, and I find in the last half an hour we have talked about everything else but the actual issue. And permit me to make 3-4 very quick points which are very relevant to what is happening today. And it's a very serious matter. We cannot allow it to be digressed and going back into the history and accusations. First of all, there is no doubt in anybody's mind that these two soldiers of Indian Army were decapitated and their bodies were mutilated. So that is not an issue. The point is, why did it happen and what should we do about it and what should Pakistan do about it? As far as Pakistan is concerned, I would like to remind the listeners and everybody that when we talk of Pakistan, we are talking about two Pakistans. We are talking about the people of Pakistan and we are talking about the Pakistan Army. And I think it is Pakistan Army which need to be addressed in this case as to why Pakistan Army has done this. Pakistan Army has been, as Maruf brought out, has been misrepresenting things, and it is because of this that Pakistan has come to grief again.
1 second, Najam Rafiq, 1 minute. Najam Rafiq, can you hear me? 1 minute, Najam Rafiq, 1 minute. Najam Rafiq.
But we are not.
No, Najam Rafiq, can you hear me? 1 minute.
Really happened.
Najam Rafiq, you can hear me, right? This is Arnab Goswami here from our studios in Mumbai. Can you hear me, Najam Rafiq? I would then request you, Mr. Najam Rafiq, with all the respect which you totally deserve, that since the General did not interrupt you when you were speaking, please do not interrupt him when he's making his point. Thank you very much. General, go ahead.
So the first point which I wish to make is that Pakistan must realize, the people of Pakistan must realize that Pakistan has repeatedly come to grief because of the actions of Pakistan Army. Now that is their internal matter. Why did they do this? Obviously, they felt that they could get away with it. What I want to tell you is this, that as far as we are concerned, and I have spent 40 years in the army and out of that more than 20 years in Jammu and Kashmir. I am familiar with this area. I know exactly what could have happened. Obviously, when you are locked on eyeball to eyeball, there could be clashes, whether it is Uri or it could be Mendar or anywhere else. And these clashes happen. We all wear uniform and we are there to defend our frontier, and casualties would take place. I salute these two martyrs who laid down their lives, and I share the grief of their families. But the fact of the matter is that any soldierly fight, if a person is martyred, we should take pride in it, and I think we are proud of it. But what Pakistan has done is something which is very, very barbaric and cowardly. And that is where the rub lies. What should we do? As far as we are concerned, I think media has done a great job by bringing it to fore. But I think we need to do much more than that. First of all, as far as the Indian Army is concerned, I have no doubts that
General
at the technical level, there would be a suitable response coming.
No, General Nirbhay Singh, let's, General Nirbhay Singh, no, one minute, General Nirbhay Singh.
I think that's
General Nirbhay Sharma, 1 minute. General Nirbhay Sharma, 1 minute. Let's please get a very clear sense of whether Pakistan will be made to feel answerable. We'll look at long-term strategies later. Chandan Mitra, do you believe the Pakistanis can be made to feel answerable as of now? What would you say to General Qureshi, for example, or Brigadier Javed, or to Tariq Azim, who have completely rejected the notion of a Pakistani hand?
No, look, this is part of the Pakistani
Arnav, can I make a point?
1 minute.
Finish my conversation.
This collective, 1 minute, please. This collective denial, this is a well-orchestrated game plan of the Pakistani establishment, and all the three gentlemen on your show today are very much part of the Pakistan establishment. And to prove that everything works in tandem in Pakistan, today you have their foreign minister, Ms. Hina Rabbani Khar, saying that Pakistan wants to normalize all relations with India, including trade. And what do? At the Chakan Ka Bagh crossing in Poonch? They stop all Indian trucks from crossing over. So they stop the trade. They stop the trade, and the minister says they want proper trade. So this whole thing is a web of hypocrisy, and we cannot believe a single word of what they say. The establishment is united because the establishment thrives on this kind of conflict scenario. They will provoke, they will create situations in which India and Pakistan can never live in peace, because it is in their vested interest to see to it that India-Pakistan tensions continue, and they will use sometimes their own army, sometimes their own, paltu militants to create problems for the peace process.
General Qureshi,
we have to respond in kind. We have to hurt Pakistan, or otherwise they will never learn.
General Qureshi, you are really leaving no option. Do you want the ceasefire, which came into effect on November 26, 2003, to now be officially scrapped? Is that what Pakistan is asking for?
First of all, I disagree with what the gentleman has just said. We are not part of any establishment. Well, you could have said that when you were when I was in the army, but there is no establishment that briefs us or tells us that this is what has happened. Frankly, we found out on our own, and today I have confirmed news that even, now please listen to me, that even the spokesman of the Northern Command has said that there was no beheading. If that be true,
sir, that is completely not true. No, I would request you, I would request you not to make a misplaced attempt to misquote a northern area commander when he has not said that.
Yes.
No, I would request you. I have the Indian Army's official point of view.
Listen to my
you cannot speak an untruth. You cannot speak an untruth.
Unfortunately, you're the anchor of a talk show, and you talk as if you represent
General Qureshi, do you reasonably expect?
How can
General
you say
Qureshi, do you reasonably expect that I would allow you to say something which has no factual basis, which is an untruth, and not question you on it?
Listen, and you have no business.
Really?
You are no one to either allow or disallow someone to say something.
Really?
I will give my opinion.
No, but I want to know whether you expect, General Qureshi, that you... If in future you're going to allow or disallow people to voice an opinion, General Qureshi,
then I'm afraid,
General Qureshi, then you prove right here, now on Newshour Tonight.
Yes.
You prove the entire, all of India is watching you. General Qureshi, General Qureshi, answer the question.
Don't start saying that you will not allow.
No, General Qureshi, you can tell me I am nobody. This is
talk show.
No, I am General Qureshi.
And your
don't get so angry.
Is to orchestrate the talk show.
General Qureshi.
Not allow or disallow people
you are mistaken.
Voice an opinion.
You are mistaken.
That's the problem.
You are mistaken, General Qureshi.
That's the problem that the Indian media has.
You are evasive. You are avoiding.
They make up an opinion and they make up their mind that this is what they have to say, perhaps briefed by the Indian government, and then you go ahead and organize the talk show in such a fashion, allowing or disallowing people to say or make an opinion.
General Qureshi. One second. General Qureshi. I think everybody in this country who is watching the program tonight knows exactly to what extent I allow myself to be briefed by anyone, leave alone that by the government. But let me tell you this. I want you to tell me today, General Qureshi.
You've given him so much time.
No, I want General Qureshi, I want you to tell me what the Indian Army's official testimony on this matter is. Have they said or not that the beheading took place? Yes or no?
Just heard, just before I came on this show, that the spokesman, who's some Kalia of the Northern Command, has said that there was no beheading.
Sir, I am so sorry.
Please confirm.
I am so sorry you've got it so wrong. I am sorry. That's complete rubbish.
No. And then
that's complete rubbish.
We can have another discussion.
So that's complete rubbish. I must say this to you. I am telling you clearly, right out. Please don't. No. Maruf wants to respond. Before Maruf is responding to you, sir. I will tell you once again, General Qureshi, you are completely factually incorrect. You are not answering my questions. You are avoiding my questions and trying to avoid the critical issue of the culpability of the Pakistanis.
No, by some people
answering your question.
Who don't want to get out to the main issue.
General Qureshi, sir.
Maruf.
General Qureshi, sir, quick question. If you are saying, and you are quoting the so-called spokesman of the Northern Command who said apparently this hasn't happened, would you deny that last year your troops had carried out a similar beheading in the area generally across Uri sector, and these beheadings are not the first and the last, but have been done on several occasions by your army, and there is evidence about that, whereas the claim from your army that we have done something similar like that, do you have evidence? And if you did, why didn't you go public with it earlier?
Is that Maruf?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Maruf, to answer your question, one, what happened last year, if it did happen, I am not in picture. What you said about a beheading taking place in Uri sector last year, I am not in picture whether any such thing happened or not.
So may I ask you another question?
Don't blame me for, let me first answer this. So therefore, don't accuse me of knowing things that I've never heard.
But then if you generally...
Why I say this, sir, with respect, sir, why I say this is you seem to know more about what's happening on our end. I thought having been so close to the establishment in Pakistan, you would at least know what's happening at your end.
Colonel Thapar wants to ask you a question at this stage. What's Colonel Thapar is asking a question to General Qureshi. And General Qureshi, let me also tell you... One sec. Colonel Thapar goes ahead first. Colonel Thapar to General Qureshi.
Yeah, I'm always amused by what the general says. He claims to have spent 40 years in the army, and yet when we talk about the patrolling at the border, he is imagining that somebody else has cut the head and taken it off. Obviously, there is an action between two army units, and one is on the Pakistani side and one is on the Indian side.
Why are you putting words that I have not said as a quote from me? I have not said that.
All right. You also said
your whole premise is wrong.
Kalia.
Your whole premise for the argument is absolutely wrong.
Listen to me.
Listen to me first. You said Saurabh Kalia, he was not killed by anybody, but animals and birds did it. But his body, on his back, there are all burn marks.
Hold on, please.
1 minute, let him complete, sir. General Qureshi, listen to him.
You see this?
Colonel Thapar,
blame game.
And like when we had the last discussion, I asked you, have you been on top? Have you ever seen an animal over there? There is no trace of an animal, there is no trace of a bird. So how can you say that?
There are.
Incidentally, this is all futile arguments. There are no animals over there.
No.
There are no animals.
Colonel Thapar or whatever your name is, let me answer this question.
My name is Colonel Thapar.
His name is Colonel Thapar, and he is the father of Indian martyr in Kargil, late Captain Vijayan Thapar. Thank you.
And butchered in Kargil.
He may be anyone. It doesn't matter. He's
Right.
what? Yes,
No.
you've got to listen now. You've said that you quoted me having said that the Pakistan Army or Surav Kalia was not killed by the Pakistan Army. I did not say that. I said there was a firefight. When an Indian patrol stumbled onto Pakistani positions, there was a firefight. In the exchange of fire, some people got killed. Now, Pakistan Army didn't go across to find out
who
why they were
General Qureshi,
and where they were.
General Qureshi,
it was 1.5 months later.
General Qureshi,
let me finish now. It was 1.5 months later that your DGMO, and please confirm from your Director General Military Operations of the Indian Army, who rang up Pakistani DGMO and asked for the recovery of these people. The Pakistani DGMO said that we do not know where they are, however we look for them. And Pakistan sent out a search party and recovered some bodies from a crevice. Now,
one
for
second.
1.5 months, those bodies had been lying there.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, let me.
This is very fertile.
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, 1 minute. 1 minute. General Qureshi, you are tying yourself up in knots. General Qureshi.
Then you are absolutely wrong.
General Qureshi. General Qureshi, why?
Your problem is
General,
you ask
all
a
I want
question
to say,
and then you don't listen to
No,
the
General
answer.
Qureshi, you are tying yourself up in knots.
Pakistanis won't believe your bundle of lies.
Sir, General Qureshi, you are tying yourself up in knots. I'll tell you why. You are tying yourself up in knots, sir.
I think what you are saying is a bundle of lies.
General Qureshi.
I think each word that you spoke
General Qureshi,
is a lie.
General Qureshi, I'll tell you one thing. I know that you were military spokesperson to Musharraf, and I know your loss in Kargil must sting you deeply somewhere. But
oh my God, I mean, how you digress.
No, I didn't say anything.
Change the subject.
I am coming to the point. I never digress.
Can I come in?
Loss in Kargil.
We are learning from you.
I've heard Indian Army officers crying in Kargil.
Can we talk about the things that are happening in the last
I am very much on the point. Gentlemen, if you allow me, I just want to make one point to General Qureshi. Whether Kargil stings or not, I don't know. I know that Pakistan officially tries to deny it ever happened under its reign. Point is here today. General Qureshi, Tariq Azim, to the brigadier in Lahore, or to Najam Rafiq. Let me ask all of you one simple question. Because the question today is that of the mutilation and the beheading of Indian soldiers and the beheading of the soldiers' bodies.
Which Pakistan Army didn't do.
Which one? Listen to me. I want to know what kind of animals you have in Pakistan who do the following.
Well, maybe the same kind who have been mutilating the Kashmiris.
Now I will, Najam Rafiq, if you allow me, and after that you reply. I'll tell you, I want to know which kind of animals do the following. Captain,
you're not allowing anybody anything.
The question.
I mean, you're throwing questions, and you would rather be happy if we were to just nod our heads and agree with you.
Najam Rafiq, let me ask you the question. Questions are not supposed to be platforms. I don't give a platform.
Can we be a bit civilized, please, Arnab, when we are having this debate?
Yes, Tariq Azim.
Civilized.
Tariq Azim, the question is this. The question is in the context. In the context. Tariq Azim,
there is no point.
Tariq Azim, the question is in the context of the observation of General Qureshi and several others that animals carry out mutilation.
If you have invited us to insult us and throw abuse at us, please next time do not invite us. That is not fair. This is not a fair debate. Thank you very much. I'm not here to listen to you to abuse Pakistan or abuse Pakistani soldiers.
Tariq Azim, a general said animals.
Thank you.
Tariq Azim, you don't want to listen to the question if it's direct. The general said that animals carried out the mutilation on Saurabh Kalia's body. Now his lips were cut, his nose was chipped off, his limbs were chopped off. Besides all sorts of other tortures. 1 minute.
You are losing your composure.
There were cigarette burns on his body.
And there were cigarette burns on his body. I want to know whether that is the act of animals, or whether that is the act of some kind of human being which shouldn't exist.
How?
Well, maybe the wolves up there have started smoking, you know.
How come?
Amazing.
How come you kept quiet for 14 years and
Sir, nobody has.
last month?
Arnab, bring me in.
Brigadier, go ahead. And then
Bring
I'll
me in. Allow me to speak.
Where was the DJ?
Go ahead, Brigadier, answer my question.
Allow me to speak.
You have the floor.
Look, this program is going to serve no purpose. You're blaming blaming each other.
Absolutely.
You seem to, all the Indian participants in this debate seem to know more about the Pakistan army than those who have served in it in almost all capacities. That is not the case. You know very little about. Hold on. Oh, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. I'm not casting aspersions on the Indian army at all. Indian army is a highly disciplined force like the Pakistan army. They have their values, common codes of honor. So what you are, please do not lose your composure.
No, sir.
Just let me finish. There is a dispute.
No, you admitted that there are irregulars who work under the Pakistan army.
Forget about it. Forget about what happened in Kargil.
You said so.
We are 14 years on now. Forget about Kargil. Forget about Gibraltar. Forget about 1947 raiders in Kashmir. The objective conditions on the ground are different these days. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that there is a dispute between the two. You seem to have all the evidence. All right, produce that evidence before the United Nations military observers. It is their job to verify who has violated the ceasefire.
Very weak and predictable attempt at trying to internationalize an issue which will not happen.
Why are you shy?
Why
are you shy of presenting? Hold on. Why are you shy of presenting all the evidence that you have
the Pakistani challenge
before others?
The Pakistani challenge from Brigadier
before others. Otherwise,
take it to a third forum. Respond.
Otherwise, what your participants are suggesting is invoke cold start, attack, launch your integrated battle groups. Is that what you want to do?
Sir, the provocation.
You don't want to talk. You don't want to bring in a third party.
Sir, there isn't.
You don't want to establish whether this thing was done by an institution or by an individual.
Brigadier.
Who will determine this?
Brigadier, what is being asked
here
party.
Is bring a party of your choice.
No, Brigadier.
Otherwise, you will keep on talking till the cows come home, and in the subcontinent, the cows never return.
Brigadier
they never come home.
Brigadier Javed, I'll let.
So what is it that you want to do?
Brigadier, you see...
What is the choice?
Brigadier,
everyone seems to be suggesting attack. Invoke cold start.
Let the fear of
cold start has been developed only for this very purpose.
No.
Do it.
Brigadier, the Pakistan...
What else do you want?
Brigadier,
so why transfer blame? Why use unpleasant language?
Brigadier, there is no unpleasant language. But you must understand
I'm listening.
This attempt at provoking India to try and make it international issue will not work. I think this has been made clear on umpteen occasions.
Then what will work?
To respond to
then what will work?
Maru, it will not work. It has not worked. Even the United Nations and America has rejected it today.
Do you think invoking cold start will work?
Maruf is responding.
It will not work.
Maruf.
So the best thing is to maintain this relationship.
The relationship can be maintained if the beheading stops.
Talking.
If the brutalization stops, the relationship can be maintained. Otherwise, it's compromising the relationship, isn't it? General Qureshi wants to say something there. Yes, General Qureshi.
I said that there's no brutalization. You see, you come up with an idea, you come up with a formed statement, and then you try to prove it in your talk show. It's not. I refuse to believe that after 36 years that I spent in the army, and some of your generals have spent more time, I do not know my army. So therefore, when you say that the Pakistan army has decapitated or mauled bodies of the Indian soldiers, I just refuse to believe.
Maruf, you know, this is the point. You do
know that you've made a fence which is 600 to 800 yards inside Indian territory to block off what you say were supposed infiltrations.
So you're making an admission.
How is it that the Pakistan army
that's an admission.
Went through those 800 yards
So that's an admission. That's an admission.
Went across the fence.
No, that's an admission.
And got what admission? What are you saying?
You are just admitting.
That's your problem. Your problem is that without listening to the argument, you start calling admissions. What admission? You have admitted.
First you denied any hand. Then you said, how is it possible? Then you said the fence has been put 600 meters on the Indian side. So you're tying yourself up in knots.
We know it. Damn it, we know it. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. We saw the fence being built. So what is the admittance?
Sir, hear the other side.
What have I
Maruf,
said?
1 minute, sir.
So
don't lose your cool. Maruf is responding to you in military terms.
That you are a biased anchor.
Sir, that's
your
all.
problem is that you come with a briefing by your government and you try to prove your point.
Sir, this
unfortunately,
is... Sir,
this will not work.
Sir,
I have come to the conclusion and
sir, all this does not
with
work.
you on a lot of shows
Sir,
that there is, it's a predetermined design that you want to implement in your talk shows. And unfortunately,
General Qureshi,
that will not work.
Why are you doing this?
General Qureshi, I never get provoked.
Enough.
I have never got provoked. Maruf is responding to you. Maruf.
Sir, to General Qureshi and Brigadier Javed, sir, a couple of points from a plainly military perspective. The first point is the Brigadier's point that, why don't you get the international observers, the UNMO-GAP and the United Nations involved? We see no role for the United Nations. This was agreed between the two countries. What we can do, and here is a suggestion, why not have the international media swoop in out there and carry the evidence of what the Pakistan army has done? That is good enough reason to show to the world what your army has done. Why do you need a UN fact-finding group to come there? Even the UN fact-finding group was not allowed by General Kiani and others, and even General Musharraf when Benazir Bhutto was assassinated. So why are you talking of UN fact-finding group here? The second point about Brigadier, that we want to launch the cold start unit. Sir, please. We want to launch cold start units. Please understand the situation militarily on the LOC is very different from the rest of the international border. The cold start units will only get operational if we go to war, and I don't see that happening. The cold start units are to largely operate in Punjab and Rajasthan, not on the LOC. And the third point, and my question to General Qureshi is, sir, that if you say that there is no nexus between your army and jihadis, why did General Musharraf give an assurance that he will stop cross-border attacks and he could turn the tap off at will and turn it on at will if your army had no control over the jihadis?
Last answer from General Qureshi. I have 30 seconds on this debate. At that point of time when that assurance was made, General Qureshi was military spokesperson to Musharraf.
What Maruf has just said is a statement made up by him totally.
Sir, on television, the whole world remembers it.
Sir, your senior journalist, your senior journalist has said
that he can
how many times will there be peace,
so therefore,
and then it never happens.
It again proves,
I can quote you any number of your senior journalists.
That you come up, yes, you dream of a statement, you come and issue it here, and you expect me to believe
General Qureshi, I will send you two things at the end of this Newshour debate tonight.
Believe me, sir, I spend no time dreaming of Pakistan.
General Qureshi, I will send, at the end of this debate, I will only say, I will send General Qureshi two facts after this. You've got very angry, General Qureshi. I'll send you two things. One is I will send you what your president, when you were military spokesperson, when Musharraf was in power, when you were military spokesperson for him, what he said on turning on and off the tap as far as the terrorists were concerned, and I will therefore prove to you that Maruf was right. The second thing I will send to you is the official Indian Army statement on the beheading.
And make it public. No. I would like you to put it on your screen.
Sir,
so don't send it to me.
Sir,
you can send it to me. One copy to me and put the other on the screen.
If I remember correctly, Ayaz Amir, a distinguished journalist from Pakistan, was exasperated and he asked General Musharraf, how many times will you call for peace and then call it off? Does it take that many calls to finally agree on when you want peace with India?
The question tonight is this, and it is to the authorities and the government in India as well. Today we have seen Hina Rabbani Khar clearly saying, far from an apology, she said she is not answerable to any of the views of 1 billion or more Indian people. The question is to our government and to our authorities. How will we deal with this situation now? To my friends, to our panelists in India and in Pakistan participating in this Newshour debate, thank you very much. I'm back with debate 2 in 2 minutes.